Borzoi. The Borzoi, /ɓɔːrzɔɪ, literally fast, also called the Russian wolfhound, Russian, romanized, Russkaya psovaya borzaya, is a breed of domestic dog. Descended from dogs brought to Russia from Central Asian countries, it is similar in shape to a greyhound, and is also a member of the sighthound family. The system by which Russians over the ages named their sighthounds was a series of descriptive terms, not actual names. Borzoi is the masculine singular form of an archaic Russian adjective that means fast. Borzaya собака, fast dog, is the basic term used by Russians, though собака is usually dropped. The name psovaya derived from the word psovana, which means wavy, silky coat, just as hortaya, as in hortaya borzaya, means short-haired. In modern Russian, the breed commonly called the Borzoi is officially known as Russkaya psovaya borzaya. Other Russian sighthound breeds are Stepnaya borzaya, from the steppe, called Stepnoi, and Krimskaya borzaya, from the Crimea, called Krimskoy. The most commonly used plural form is the regular formation Borzois, which is the only plural cited in most dictionaries. However, the Borzoi Club of America and the Borzoi Club UK both prefer Borzoi as the form for both singular and plural forms. Description. Appearance. Borzois are large Russian sighthounds that resemble some Central Asian breeds such as the Afghan hound, Saluki, and the Kyrgyz taigan. Borzois can generally be described as long-haired greyhounds. Borzois come in virtually any color. The Borzoi coat is silky and flat, often wavy or slightly curly. The long top coat is quite flat, with varying degrees of waviness or curling. The soft undercoat thickens during winter or in cold climates, but is shed in hot weather to prevent overheating. In its texture and distribution over the body, the Borzoi coat is unique. There should be a frill on its neck, as well as feathering on its hindquarters and tail. Borzoi males frequently weigh more than 100 pounds, 45 kilograms. Males stand at least 30 inches, 76 centimeters, at the shoulder, while the height of females is around 26 inches, 66 centimeters. Despite their size, the overall impression is of streamlining and grace, with a curvy shapeliness and compact strength. Temperament. The Borzoi is an athletic and independent breed of dog. Most Borzois are fairly quiet, barking on rare occasions. They do not have strong territorial drives and cannot be relied on to raise the alarm upon sighting a human intruder. The Borzoi requires patient, experienced handling. They are gentle and highly sensitive dogs with a natural respect for humans, and as adults they are decorative couch potatoes with remarkably gracious house manners. Borzois do not generally display dominance or aggression towards people, but can turn aggressive if handled roughly. Typically, they are rather reserved with strangers but affectionate with people they know well. Their sensitivity to invasion of their personal space can make them nervous around children unless they are brought up with them. Borzois adapt well to suburban life, provided they have a spacious yard and regular opportunities for free exercise. A common misunderstanding about the intelligence of breeds in the hound group stems from their independent nature, which conflicts with the frequent confusion between the concepts of intelligence and obedience in discussions of canine brain power. Stanley Coren's survey of canine obedience trainers published in The Intelligence of Dogs reported that Borzois obey the first command less than 25% of the time. Coren's test, however, was by his own admission heavily weighted towards the obedience interpretation of intelligence and based on a better understanding of working breeds than hounds. Unfortunately, the publicity given to this report has led to unfair denigration of breeds which are underrepresented in obedience clubs and poorly understood by the average obedience trainer. Work for hound breeds is done out of hearing and often out of sight of the human companion. It is an activity for which the dogs are released, rather than an activity which is commanded. In terms of obedience, Borzois are selective learners who quickly become bored with repetitive, apparently pointless, activity, and they can be very stubborn when they are not properly motivated. For example, food rewards, or baiting, may work well for some individuals, but not at all for others. Nevertheless, Borzois are definitely capable of enjoying and performing well in competitive obedience and agility trials with the right kind of training. Like other sighthounds, they are very sensitive and do not cope well with harsh treatment or training based on punishment, and will be extremely unhappy if raised voices and threats are a part of their daily life. However, like any intelligent dog, Borzois respond extremely well to the guidance, support, and clear communication of a benevolent human leadership. Borzois were bred to pursue or course game and have a powerful instinct to chase things that run from them, including cats and small dogs. Built for speed and endurance, they can cover long distances in a very short time. A fully fenced yard is a necessity for maintaining any sighthound. They are highly independent and will range far and wide without containment, with little regard for road traffic. For off-leash exercise, a borzoi needs a very large field or park, either fully fenced or well away from any roads, to ensure its safety. Borzois are born with specialized coursing skills, but these are quite different from the dogfighting instincts seen in some breeds. It is quite common for borzois at play to course, i.e., run down another dog, seize it by the neck and hold it immobile. Young pups do this with their litter mates, trading off as to who is the prey. It is a specific hunting behavior, not a fighting or territorial domination behavior. Borzois can be raised very successfully to live with cats and other small animals provided they are introduced to them when they are puppies. Some, however, will possess the hunting instinct to such a degree that they find it impossible not to chase a cat that is moving quickly. The hunting instinct is triggered by movement and much depends on how the cat behaves. Health. Stated life expectancy is 10 to 12 years. Median lifespan based on a UK Kennel Club survey is 9 years 1 month. 1 in 5 died of old age, at an average of 10 to 11.5 years. The longest-lived dog lived to 14 years 3 months. Dogs that are physically fit and vigorous in their youth through middle age are more vigorous and healthy as elderly dogs, all other factors being equal. In the UK, cancer and cardiac problems seem to be the most frequent causes of premature death. Like its native relative the Hortaya borzaya, the borzoi is relatively sound breed. OCD, hip and elbow dysplasia have remained almost unknown, as were congenital eye and heart diseases before the 1970s. However, in some countries modern breeding practices have introduced a few problems. As with other very deep-chested breeds, gastric dilatation volvulus, also known as bloat, is the most common serious health problem in the borzoi. This life-threatening condition is believed to be anatomical rather than strictly genetic in origin. One common recommendation in the past has been to raise the food bowl of the dog when it eats. However, studies have shown that this may actually increase the risk of bloat. Less common are cardiac problems including cardiomyopathy and cardiac arrhythmia disorders. A controversy exists as to the presence of progressive retinal atrophy in the breed. A condition identified as borzoi retinopathy is seen in some individuals, usually active dogs, which differs from progressive retinal atrophy in several ways. First, it is unilateral, and rarely seen in animals less than 3 years of age. Second, a clear-cut pattern of inheritance has not been demonstrated, and finally, most affected individuals do not go blind. Correct nutrition during puppyhood is also debatable for borzois. These dogs naturally experience enormous growth surges in the first year or two of their lives. It is now widely accepted that forcing even faster growth by feeding a highly concentrated, high-energy diet is dangerous for skeletal development, causing unsoundness and increased tendency to joint problems and injury. Being built primarily for speed, borzois do not carry large amounts of body fat or muscle, and therefore have a rather different physiology to other dogs of similar size, such as the Newfoundland, Street Bernard, or Alaskan Malamute. Laboratory-formulated diets designed for a generic large or giant breed are unlikely to take the needs of the big sighthounds into account. The issues involved in raw feeding may be particularly relevant to tall, streamlined breeds such as the borzoi. The Hortaya borzaya, a very close relative, is traditionally raised on a meager diet of oats and table scraps. The Hortaya is also said to be intolerant of highly concentrated kibble feeds. A lean body weight in itself is nothing to be concerned about, and force feeding of healthy young borzoi is definitely not recommended. History. The borzoi originated in 17th century Russia by crossing Arabian greyhounds with a thick-coated breed. The more modern psovaya borzaya was founded on Stepnaya, Hortaya and the Ukrainian Polish version of the old Hort. There were also imports of Western sighthound breeds to add to the height and weight. It was crossed as well with the Russian Laika specifically and singularly to add resistance against northern cold and a longer and thicker coat than the southern sighthounds were equipped with. All of these foundation types, Tazi, Hortaya, Stepnaya, Krimskaya, and Hort, already possess the instincts and agility necessary for hunting and bringing down wolves. The psovaya was popular with the Tsars before the 1917 revolution. For centuries, psovaya could not be purchased but only given as gifts from the Tsar. Grand Duke Nicholas Nikolaevich of Russia bred countless psovaya at Bershino, his private estate. The Russian concept of hunting trials was instituted during the era of the Tsars. As well as providing exciting sport, the tests were used for selecting Borzoi breeding stock. Only the quickest and most intelligent hunting dogs went on to produce progeny. For the aristocracy, these trials were a well-organized ceremony, sometimes going on for days, with the Borzois accompanied by mounted hunters and foxhounds on the Russian steppe. Hares and other small game were by far the most numerous kills, but the hunters especially loved to test their dogs on a wolf. If a wolf was sighted, the hunter would release a team of 2 or 3 Borzois. The dogs would pursue the wolf, attack its neck from both sides, and hold it until the hunter arrived. The classic kill was by the human hunter with a knife. Wolf trials are still a regular part of the hunting diploma for all Russian sight dog breeds of the relevant type, either singly or in pairs or trios, in their native country. After the 1917 revolution, wolf hunting with sighthounds has soon gone out of fashion as an aristocratic and a means and time-taking way of hunting. A necessity in a wolf-catching sighthound didn't exist. In addition to the old proof technique of bachu with the use of baits, flags and other appeared new, way more effective, from airplanes, from propeller sleighs, with electronic lure whistles. For decades the generations of few remaining sighthounds were regarded as hunting suited, when showing enough attacking initiative for fox hunting. The rumors about persecution of sighthounds in post-revolutionary Russia is a legend of modern times, possibly based on similar incidents in Maoist China. In the late 1940s, a Soviet soldier named Konstantin Esmont made detailed records of the various types of borzoi he found in Cossack villages. Esmont's illustrations were recently published and can be viewed by clicking on the link below. Esmont was concerned that the distinct types of borzaya were in danger of degenerating without a controlled system of breeding. He convinced the Soviet government that borzois were a valuable asset to the hunters who supported the fur industry, and henceforth, their breeding was officially regulated. To this day, short-haired Hortaya borzaya are highly valued hunting dogs on the steppes, while the long-haired psovaya borzaya is going through a hard period of restoration of its working qualities after decades of shadow, mainly show existence. Exports of borzois to other countries were extremely rare during the Soviet era. However, enough had been taken to England, Scandinavia, Western Europe, and America in the late 19th century for the breed to establish itself outside its native country. Notable borzois. In popular culture. In art. In 2004, the UK Kennel Club held its 4th temporary exhibition, The Borzoi in Art, which offered unique insights into the borzoi and how the breed has been depicted in art throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. The exhibition included paintings, bronzes, and porcelain which had previously not been available to the public. The exhibition ran from 27 September to 3 December. The borzoi is frequently found in Art Deco period works. Gallery. Notes at works. Gallery. Notes at works.